right, we're looking at a higher opening for the broader averages this Monday morning. Take a look at futures indicating a gain for the Dow Industrials as President Trump arrives in Israel for the second leg of his first foreign trip as president. The president touched down about 2 hours ago and has been going through various ceremonies. He is now at the residence of the president, President Rivlin, in Jerusalem. Stocks finished out the week negative, unable to snap last week's sharp sell-off midweek following the barrage of headlines focused on President Trump and Russia and the firing of Jim Comey. Joining us right now is Nuveen Asset Management Chief Equity Strategist, Senior Portfolio Manager Bob Dahl. Bob, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Maria.
I want to talk about what you're watching this week. I know that the Purchasing Managers Indexes are coming out on Wednesday. They can be a market mover when you look at the Purchasing Managers because it's an indication of what's going on in manufacturing. What's most important for you in terms of markets this week, Bob?
The PMIs are incredibly important. First of all, they come out every month. Second of all, there are a bunch of them, Maria. And third of all, they were part of the reason why the stock market did so well. They improved noticeably. But the last couple of months, they're sagging a little bit. They're still above 50, which indicates the economy is growing, but at a slower pace. And I think that nominal growth concern is what's on the minds of the market. It's less about politics and more about, is the economy going to stay reasonably good?
Well, let's talk about that. What is your take on the economy right now? We just came off of a pretty good first quarter earnings season, right? Profits were up 15%.
Great.
Revenue was up 6%. That's a good foundation.
Awesome earnings and revenue quarter, no question about it. But the bears would say, yeah, but GDP was only 0.7. Now, I'm with you. I'll take the earnings over the GDP, no question about it. But that was probably, as good as the news was, it was probably the peak quarter in terms of surprise. And so from here, again, like the PMIs, earnings will be good, but maybe not quite as good. I think the market at these levels is saying, you know, I'm going to watch for a little while and see what the earnings look like. I think we'll be okay at the end of the day, but that's what this churning is about, Maria.
What do you think happens if the president does not get tax reform or regulatory reform through before the summer recess and the discussion drags on to the fall and winter? Do you think that has a chilling effect on the market, or do equities just kind of wait and see based on, you know, what happens in terms of policies, especially the financials?
I don't think it will matter a whole lot. I don't talk to too many investors who actually expect it to happen in that time frame. Most that I talk to, and my personal view is it is going to take longer.
What about this year, then?
Yeah, it may drag into the first part of next year. Look, expectations coming into the year was kind of by Labor Day, we're going to have tax reform and health reform all wrapped up, and the regulatory stuff would be well underway. And, of course, that always takes longer. Politics is slow and clumsy. We know that. So if you told me we're never going to get a tax deal, then I'm going to be more concerned. But if it drifts in the next year, I don't think investors will be horribly concerned, assuming the economy and earnings are okay.
So if you think that politics are less important overall as other factors to the rally in the market, what do you think that we should be looking at going forward right now, if not politics?
Well, again, back to what Maria said, I'll put earnings first and economic indicators right behind it. Not that politics is unimportant, but, you know, the huge rally we had post the election started before the election. It wasn't about Trump. It was about economic growth here and overseas doing better. You know, the Trump election and the hope for fiscal policy reform was a kiss on top of that. And then the churning, I think, is more about, gee, is that momentum going to continue rather than political problems, of which there have obviously been a few.
By the way, Bob, you've got the GDP coming out on Friday, April durable goods, and then Thursday you've got an OPEC meeting. We've been watching oil prices going into this OPEC meeting. Bottom line, Bob Dahl, would you put new money to work in equities right now, given what you're seeing in the backdrop?
Yeah, if I had money on the sidelines earmarked for equities, I would put some in here. I wouldn't put all of it in, but absolutely. The business cycle and the earnings cycle is not over.
All right, we will just leave it there. Bob, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you.